Welcome to Hoard of Tales. My name is Anne, and I'm pleased to be here today facilitating this Good Society one-shot. And today I have a fabulous table full of fabulous people. And let's get them to introduce themselves, starting with Inez. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Inez. Um, let's see, what should I say? I'll say I'm 22 years old. I'm from the Netherlands, and I'm very excited to play this cool game today.
Tell us about your character that you're playing really quickly. Just a
Well,
sentence.
okay. Well, her name is Clarissa Walnut, and she's an old party ant. Say that. Say that.
Excellent. Anya, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your character.
Hello, so I'm Anya, also known as Lalion Cosplay on Instagram, TikTok, Lalion Photo on Twitter. I am going to be playing, let me get the full name, Letitia Harewood. She is roughly my age and has really beautiful auburn hair, neatly pinned up, and seems very well put together, although maybe her clothes are just slightly on the shabbier side. You can't really tell, but just a little bit.
Ah, that's excellent. And Amber, please tell us about yourself and your character.
Hi, everybody. I'm Amber, also known as the Space Jamber on Twitter, Twitch, TikTok. I'm trying to do more on TikTok, so let me just go ahead and plug that while I'm here. So, I call myself the TTRPG Swiss Army Knife because I do everything. I write, I edit, I stream, I podcast, I do everything pertaining to TTRPGs. And I also host on Tuesday and Thursday nights something called TTRPG Study Hall on my channel, which uh, I've actually seen several people on this call in my study hall chat, so I love that. But basically, that is my cozy collaborative co-working stream where we get together, we work on our projects, we spill the tea a little bit, we just hang out. It's a good time, and yeah. So I will be playing. Oh, hold on. I will be playing Phoebe Griffin. She is a socialite who has recently um, lost her dear departed betrothed, and is um she is very prim, proper, definitely comes from money, but wants more of it. And she, is very just like, she'll like wipe her own tears with her money, if that makes sense. So
I know
there's
that.
that.
Yeah, you wipe
Hmm.
the tear and you show off the wedding ring.
Yeah, that's very Phoebe Griffin. Sorry.
All right. Last but certainly not least, Philippa. Please
Hello.
tell us about yourself and your character.
Hi, I'm Philippa. I go all places on the internet as Mort Philippa, Twitter, TikTok, bit of YouTube, all that jazz. Also make some games and stuff over on Itch.io. I've got some adventures on TM's Guild, etc., etc. You can find it all online. But I will be playing Lord Byron Walnut, son of a certain Lord Walnut. Byron is a strapping gentleman, a wave of dark hair. He's got a lovely velvet, very expensive jacket, tight trousers, and an annoying smirk that he thinks he's the smartest in the room at all times, but he probably is not.
That's great. And so now that we've met our players and the characters that they will be playing, quick little introduction, we are going to jump right in. Um, Good Society is a um, collaborative storytelling game where we tell stories in the style of Jane Austen and the Regency era. We're not really going to care about historical accuracy today. We're just here to tell a really fun story. The main mechanic of this game is the exchange of tokens. Each player has a pool of resolve tokens that they will offer to another player if they are wanting to suggest something in the narrative that will affect the other person's character, or if they want to introduce new information, just in order to trigger the active collaboration or negotiation. Sorry, I've got my words mixed up. So you'll see that we will break from RP for a moment and ask, is it okay if this happens? That is the process of negotiation, and I am the arbitrator of that as the facilitator. They also have a monologue token, which they can play on other characters to essentially pick apart their brains and ask a question about their inner thoughts, and then they have to go into this monologue. You can play that at any time, and they have to stop and give this monologue. So tokens, those are the key mechanics for this game. I will be playing Lady Susan, who is coming to the estate at the behest of the Walnut family's lawyers to investigate this mystery. Whew. Yeah, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
Let's go. Let's go.
We got this.
So we start the day after Lord Ernest Walnut's birthday party. There's a certain hush at Caraway Creek Manor, his ancestral home. The family was all there visiting for his birthday. But no one's seen or heard from him since the previous night. And Byron, you discover that your father you've discovered your father slumped over his desk from the night before.
Oh no, how dreadful. I am entirely unequipped to handle this situation right now. I over-imbibe at the party. I immediately ring as many bells as possible for as many servants as possible to please help. Please help. I don't know what to do. I just stand in the doorway going, "Ah!"
So the staff immediately come in. There's 3 or 4 people coming in as soon as you start freaking out, and they seem equally as unequipped to deal with it, but they have to, so they're trying to figure things out, and one person has run off, and you've heard them I'm gonna go send a missive. And
yes, very good. Yes. We should contact the relevant authorities, I suppose, and let the ladies of the house know as well, I suppose, as well. Even Phoebe.
Even Phoebe.
So this is relatively early in the morning, and
terrible.
All of the appropriate authorities have been informed in some way or another. Several of the servants have been dispatched to personally deliver letters in different places, including to the family, the estate's lawyers, so that they can deal with this. I want to go. Well, after this situation, what do you do, Byron?
I need to lie down. This is far too much to be happening after a night of birthday party celebration. So I go to the sunroom, the lounge, somewhere like that, and I find an appropriate chaise-longue to handsomely lay on, and I cover my eyes. And just, yes, anyone who wants to talk to me shall have to talk to me through the sleeve of my extremely expensive silk dressing gown as I go, how
Yeah,
dreadful, but
okay.
also, once we hear the will, hooray, but also,
So you are, the sunroom is beautiful. It is
of course.
one of your favorite places to
I
relax
designed it.
in this whole place. This is your safe space. You're like, trying to process. Let's check in with Phoebe next. So
So
you have heard the scuttling and the activity on the main floor is filled with activity like early-ish in the morning, like 8 a.m. There's a lot going on. And you hear a knock on your door. Um,
come in.
Lady Phoebe,
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard, but Lord Ernest has been found in his study.
He's been found in his study. I mean, of course, he's been studying
yeah,
all night
um,
long. So, like,
he he's and you see this servant just looks so awkward and uncomfortable, and she's like, he's not alive, and she just freaks out and runs. She is not okay.
wait, I'm sorry. Hold on. She picks up like her like nightgowns, but like
Yeah.
she's of course that like extravagant one that wears like long nightgowns. She trailing behind her, and she's like, wait, excuse me, Darlene, can you please wait? What do you mean not alive?
Darlene stops. Like, you manage to intercept her in the hallway, and she says, "I mean, not alive. I mean, dead. Please don't make me say it anymore. I'm so uncomfortable."
Phoebe steels herself for a second, takes a deep breath, and it's okay. Thank you so much for telling me.
Um,
You may take the
I'm
rest of the day off. I'm sure having to see that.
I'm gonna go tell the kitchens to have breakfast ready, and then I'm going to take the time off. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to be in my parlor. My darling. Excuse me.
At this visible display of emotion, Darlene just out of here. Like, she is uncomfortable as all heck.
Yeah, like Phoebe turns and you just see like the trail of her nightgown go after
It's
her.
a blur of servant just running past.
And then she just traipses off to her parlor, cleans up her tears, and she's like, okay, she bought it, right? She bought it. Okay, she bought it. Okay, wonderful. That's fabulous. We're gonna turn into a New Zealand accent, actually, is what's gonna happen.
Let's just say she bought it so hard that she was super uncomfortable. She was like, the lady of the house is upset. I'm gonna run. You did your job. Well done. So what do you do next after that?
I think what Phoebe does at that point is she sits in her parlor and gets herself done up for the day, and she gives herself like a long look in the mirror as she's like brushing her locks. She's got like these long, like chestnut colored hair, this long chestnut colored hair she usually wears, and like that, like, you know, a tight braid, like a braided bun. And she, okay, step one, we're fine. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. We're Phoebe, you're fine. He was found. You're okay. But we need to put on airs for the rest of the house. Oh God, we need to talk to Clarissa. Oh, French toast. And I think that's just kind of where she is. She's just kind of like self-soothing with like just talking herself through her anxiety about this. Yeah.
As you do. As you do. Speaking of Clarissa, why don't we check in with Clarissa? You also hear early in the morning the hubbub of the house.
I think she immediately wakes up from it. She's a very light sleeper. And she has her hair, so she has black curly hair like I do, and so she has her hair up in like a what I would call a pineapple. So it's a very high ponytail where all the curls stay intact. And she wakes up and she's like, this is too much noise, and she throws the duvet off of her, and she finds a robe and she throws it over herself and like gets herself like ready-ish, and then she throws open the door and she goes, what is all this noise about?
When you open the door, you see two servants in the midst of arguing, like, you go tell her. I don't want to tell her. And the other one's like, I don't know. And they're arguing about this. And then when you open the door and yell at them, they stop dead in their tracks. And one of them pushes the other towards you and then runs. And the other one's just like, I don't know if you've heard yet. And she starts stuttering really awkwardly as well because, you know,
as she starts stuttering,
things are happening. And she's
Clarissa
just like,
would be like, get it
the
out.
Lord of the house, he was found in his study. He dead. And then she also just runs to follow the other servant, like a blur of servant just running away.
I think Clarissa is stunned. And then she closes the door, and then she turns around and she leans against it with her arms crossed. And she goes, huh. It actually worked. And then she, I think she would get her outfit together. I think she would think about the saddest thing that's ever happened to her, and then she starts crying. And then she wipes her tears, and that's when she goes out. Like fresh face, like crying, you know, a red nose, absolutely red eyes. And she has her hair down now, and she has her she doesn't have a hat on in the house, I don't think. However, she always has it on hand. And her sunglasses as well. And yeah, she looks very glamorous in like a beautiful dress that is appropriate for the weather. And she's accessorized to the nines. And yeah, she's just she looks like she's very upset about this.
And last but not least, Letitia.
Letitia was already awake and in the what is it, the sunroom. So
Oh.
she was in a corner of the room when Byron came storming in and plopping down with a book, just reading. And she glances over and just walks over to him, just taps him on the head a little bit with the book.
Well,
Byron, what's
go
going
away. Something dreadful / possibly good has happened. My
Tell me.
father's finally kicked the bucket.
Oh,
Yes, in his study, which, I mean, surprising for him. He doesn't go in there very often, but apparently all the birthday cake was too much for him, it would seem, or at least that's all I saw. Him slumped over. So, yeah, looks like
Do
this
you-
birthday is going to turn into a funeral.
do you know the cause of death?
No, I got out of there straight away. Although I may go back later to have a look. If one wants to be an artiste, one must confront the real mortality of the world. So I
Well,
might go back later after I've calmed down a little bit.
I think that you're pretty well calm on your own. Thank you very much. But this might be something to look into because it seems quite sudden. Don't you think? He was perfectly healthy.
I mean, I suppose as much as a 60-something-year-old man can be in this day and age, but I suppose you're right. We could go and have a look, shall we?
Yeah.
Raises an eyebrow. You and me, new girl. Sorry, you told me not to call me that. I will stop. I promise.
Thank you. Byron.
Look, you can go in first, and I'll follow, and I'll have a little look over your shoulder, just in case. It's not nice.
Okay, we can do that.
Byron springs up from the sofa and he links arms with Letitia's like, come on then, let's go.
And Letitia just tosses her book to the side to the cushions that he abandoned and will guide them out of the room.
As we're walking as well, I think, I don't know, sorry, just to check in, and our backstory questions, do we already sort of know those, or do they have to be token things to sort of notice them?
It's just to help you kind of flesh out the story.
Cool.
Yeah, some of those are just things that you believe, like
Cool. Okay, in
You
that
know.
case, as we're walking, Byron thinks he sees that Letitia's hair is a little wet behind the ears, as if she may have. He's like, you had an early morning bath, have you?
No, not at all. I have
Oh,
no
I
idea
was-
what you're talking about.
Sound asleep until all the ruckus from the servants, but anyway, let's go.
So you go back to investigate there. I want to check in with Phoebe and Clarissa. What happens leading up to breakfast? Phoebe knows that the breakfast is being prepared. It's a little bit later than usual that the staff have started on it, so you will have a slightly later breakfast. And the house has been appropriately notified at some point of this little detail. Is there anything you would like to do before breakfast?
I have already started like wearing the traditional clothes of mourning. You know, I have like the long black skirt, the like very prim proper black high neck collared shirt, the black veils, and just like almost like a constant stream of mascara going, just and a little black handkerchief, almost like I prepared this. Who knows? But yeah, but I immediately, as soon as I'm like, donning now my gay apparel, running over to find Clarissa as soon as possible, just to check in, just to uh, asking any of the staff along the way, like, have you seen Clarissa? Have you seen Lady Clarissa? I would like to talk with her post haste, if possible.
Where is Lady Clarissa?
I think she has just left her room. And I think that while you are asking a servant, like in the hallway, like, have you seen Lady Clarissa? That I walk out of the room, like freshly faced, crying. I see Phoebe. I just go.
And then, so the servant that Lady Phoebe was addressing, just points over her shoulder, just like, oh,
Thank you so much, my darling. I really appreciate it. Have an extra pastry this morning. Tell them I told you.
the servants seem to be just like have this sort of like, we must avoid all of the important people in this house, and just like they are so uncomfortable with the situation right now that they seem to just be running around like, I don't know, squirrels or something, like trying to do their jobs and avoid eye contact at all times.
Understandable. I mean, their employer did just die under mysterious circumstances.
Yeah.
And we are very terrifying, so
I'm very intimidating. It's the bun.
there you go.
The staff are very intimidated by the ladies of the house.
Clarissa, oh darling, I'm sure you've heard the news. I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry for you.
It's fine. I mean, as you know, luckily we were wed a week ago, so that is, that is. I just wish we could have shared that happy news last night, but he disappeared before we could. But has everything been planted the way that it should be planted?
Yes. I've made sure of it.
How are you doing? How are you feeling? What can I help you with?
I'm feeling the most sad I've ever felt. It is absolutely a great. We are going to miss him so much, of course.
I mean, naturally, but I can't think of what could possibly be happening to poor Byron. How he must be feeling through all this. And Letitia, she's just so new to the household. I mean, what will people think?
Truly.
As soon as she arrived, she's...
It's going to be strange around here, that's for sure.
Naturally. Well, should we gather up the rest of the house and check in and make sure they're all doing okay?
Yes, I think that is a most amazing idea. Go on.
Sometime around 9 a.m. It's a bit later than when breakfast would usually be prepared, but everyone starts to file into the dining room. The long table all set with pastries and breakfast items, and it's almost like the servants were like diligently like preparing people's favorites and comfort foods and things. But also you all notice that there are leftovers as well from the previous night. And one of the servants says, I don't know if any of you were interested, but we have some leftover cake. And she just puts it on the table along with all of the regular breakfast things.
I think
Um,
I think Clarissa
Mhm.
sees that and immediately catches it, and she goes, "Oh no, 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 no! That is highly inappropriate. A birthday cake after someone's been murdered? You are absolutely out of your mind. Take it away."
Clarissa, when have you ever known what is appropriate in good society after you left? And Byron like reaches forward to try and take a piece of cake.
God.
yeah.
And
You-
who said that he was murdered?
Hmm?
And who said that he was murdered? That's a bold statement to make.
Well, found dead under weird circumstances. Must be someone in this house.
Ooh.
The servant just like has this look and just like the cake towards Byron and just like here.
I take
And
I
then-
take a very small slice. Byron likes a lot of sweet things in small amounts. Puts it on the side of his little plate next to his
and
pastry.
then yeah, and then the servant just slowly backs away and makes a beeline for the kitchen with the rest of the cake. And now you are all essentially at breakfast.
Ugh. How could you all be thinking of cake at a time like this? Cake is a celebratory object. Why should we be celebrating? I like dramatically cross the room to like the bay window that's overlooking the garden
Oh my god.
and like tie the cloak tightly around. He was such a good man, and for him to meet his untimely death, he's been housing all of us so generously for the last. And she like looks at Byron. There's like a slight sneer on her face. 20 or so years. But we must get to the bottom of this. I cannot stand. I do not know if I can go on without my love being with us.
So Letitia is used to Phoebe being over dramatic, seeing as they are best friends.
Yes.
She just kind of rolls her eyes, walks over, and just does the perfunctory, like patting on the shoulder. It's okay, Phoebe. It'll be okay.
Thank you so much, my dear, dear bestie.
I'm sure that the doctor will come and figure out what happened to him. It may have just been an untimely end and he had a heart attack. We don't know just yet, but we
I
shall
mean, he might have been advanced in age, but that certainly didn't stop his agility.
Byron's like in the middle of eating some cake, like, yes, we all know what's appropriate during a time of mourning.
Who knows what we should or should not mention when we are in utter despair?
I mean, it was probably the stress of trying to marry you and all the stupid wedding planning that offed him. Anyway,
Byron.
this family. He just shoves more of the cake in his mouth.
So what happens next is that Lord Ernest's valet, his right hand, James, a like tall, like scrawny looking kid who basically just does his bidding, like in his early 20s, he approaches you, Phoebe, and says, I just wanted to let you know that the doctor has arrived to, check check the body, and also, I've received word that the estate lawyers and the um, the estate lawyers are arriving with an investigator to figure out what has happened here.
That is very true. I mean, it is very suspect that. I mean, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for informing me. Do you know anything about this investigator? Or...
Um, well, what I know of her is that she comes with many qualifications. She's investigated all sorts of uh, disputes regarding estates, stolen property, murder. She's quite experienced.
Well, that'll be very that'll be very useful, especially considering that the Lord did just update his will not too long ago, perhaps a couple weeks ago. I would want to
Yeah,
ensure that there is no meddling in his final wishes.
absolutely. I understand. Lady Susan Wallace is the best private investigator in the town. Um, she's been doing she's been doing her job for several decades now. I'm sure quite it will be quite it'll be quite all right. Everything will be taken care of.
Wonderful.
Well, quite all right. Lord Walnut wouldn't be dead, but we'll take what we can get.
I'm just
I mean,
here. I'm just here to send messages or deliver messages.
She takes a
But-
long sip of her coffee.
Letitia, I sure hope that you're right, that his heart just did give out. I mean, he did have so much love to give.
As you have told me many times, and each time I ask you to stop.
So then James departs, the valet departs, and you have your breakfast.
I think that Clarissa like calls a servant over with the bell,
Mhm.
and she just goes,
Of course.
I just think I really could use a martini.
The servant's reaction is literally this face.
Don't look at me like that. Just get it, okay?
Oh, Clarissa, hair of the dog. Yes, great idea. One for me as well, please.
Okay. And this particular servant is just very confused and questions the appropriateness of giving people alcohol at like 9:30 in the morning. But
Oh, don't
she
worry
goes,
about it.
she goes,
Stressful
and
day.
does it anyway because that's what she's being paid for.
There you go.
So if there's nothing else you want to cover at breakfast time, is everybody good?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
Now remember, those details that we've worked out in backstory,
Mm-hmm.
either you're free to bring it in as the story proceeds.
Yes.
Make it messy, make it fun, ladies. Okay. Sometime after 10 a.m., there is an announcement. Where did you guys go after breakfast?
Well, actually, Byron and I had mentioned wanting to go over to the office just to take a peek in and see.
So by
But
the
that
time
could be like we could like cross paths with the doctor as they come in or something.
Yeah. So as the study is being cleared and all of those things are happening, you actually run into the doctor,
Mhm.
Dr. Eleanor Scott, and she's
Hmm.
just shaking her head. She's like looking at her notes,
Mhm.
and she is she looks very concerned when you find her like walking out of the study.
So, bad news besides death.
Um, well, as it turns out, um, it seems that he's experienced some sort of anaphylactic shock, some sort of allergy,
Oh,
possibly allergic reaction to something.
Byron,
Okay. It's weird.
do you
What's
know of
he
any allergies of your father's?
Uh, well, now you mention it, he is allergic to nuts.
Well, that is a rather deadly one.
But we never keep any nuts in the house, so I don't know how he would have come into contact with them.
Maybe a party favor from one of the guests last night?
I suppose. I mean, most of the families around here know not to send anything like that to us. We are a no nut household apart from the name, of course. But
Well,
I suppose someone could have forgotten.
We broke it down.
Uh, that's a good one.
I love this game. I love this table. I love you all. Please continue.
Apart from the name.
Yeah.
I mean-
a no nut household. That is just the funniest thing to me.
And Letitia
It's
just
not
mutters
true.
Letitia mutters under her breath, I don't know, they're all pretty nutty to me.
I heard that. That was rude.
You didn't hear me.
Okay, I didn't. Look, the thing is, everyone knows that Lord Walnut had, we remind all of the servants not to feed him anything with nuts in. So I suppose if he did get an allergic reaction, it would be probably on purpose. So maybe you're right, Letitia. Maybe there's something strange is going on here.
Well, I was hoping for a heart attack, but
Me too. Much more exciting.
I don't know, murder is pretty exciting.
I suppose actually, yes, murder is exciting.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
fun necessarily, but exciting. I'll be
I think
curious
Byron sort of turns back to Dr. Eleanor as well and is like, anything else we should know about the body?
That was the main thing. If
Very good.
allergens were not present in the house, that seems like something that we will need to inform the authorities.
Well, there is an investigator coming, so I'm sure that you can provide them with all of the notes that you've taken about what happened to him. Should we leave him where he is?
Oh no, I have. There's actually staff there. They're going to,
Oh,
you know.
okay.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and the authorities have to go looking through that area as well. Everything will be taken care of.
Very good.
It's just a very curious thing.
Well, we'll leave you to your work, Dr. Eleanor, and I sort of link arms again with Tisha and pull you along the corridor a little bit, and I'm like, look, here's the thing. You're new.
Yes.
I'm his son. This isn't great. I didn't do it. Did you do it?
I had nothing to do with it. I was reading in the Solar early this morning, but I have no reason to kill him. I actually needed his help.
What for?
Why do you think I dye my hair?
Because Byron is not the smartest. He's like, looks, vanity. I mean,
sorry.
Byron, you're a sweetheart.
That's why I would dye my hair, obviously.
You're also my cousin.
that's why we have the same nose.
Yes.
Wait,
Except your aunt, Clarissa. Yes, she does not want to tell anyone anything about me at all.
oh yes, that would be dreadfully embarrassing for her.
Yes.
Ooh.
So
Well, well,
I
that's not the main secret today, but that is exciting. I'm going to remember that.
I came here with Phoebe to try to get your father to convince his sister to recognize me
Oh,
as her daughter, because living as an orphan, not terribly fun.
not fun. Yes, have
No.
heard that.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Except before I got to speak to him, this happened. So, no, I don't benefit from his death. It's interesting. I'm sorry for saying this, but I don't particularly care. I knew the man for a couple of weeks, a month. That's it.
That's fair enough. I
Yeah.
mean, I knew him for a lot longer than that, and I'm sad, but I'm not that sad. Life moves on.
Family.
Indeed. Well, I suppose that's us now as well.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Well, that's very interesting to know. Maybe we don't. Well, does everyone else know already? Phoebe knows.
Phoebe may guess, but I haven't actually told her. She was kind of my ticket to get over here,
I see.
price-wise. But Clarissa absolutely knows. She refuses.
Interesting. Byron just sort of sounds like interesting for like a long time. Processing behind the eyes.
He should just pass his hand or whatever, like however they're linked arms. She's just patting him on the arm, being like, "It's okay. Think about it some more later."
Yes. I have to update the family tree.
Yes.
Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Right. So what happens next is an interesting thing. Where are Clarissa and Phoebe at this point?
Lamenting somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
100%.
Where in the house would they be?
The solarium, perhaps?
Ooh. Yes.
Someplace fancy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea that the solarium is like next to the sunroom. We've just got two sunrooms because we don't want to be next to each
It's
other.
a fancy house. I
Yes.
mean, maybe the sunroom is like a small little circular room next to the giant solarium bigger room.
I had to.
Exactly.
It's very
I mean,
extravagant.
Yeah.
Lord Walnut has had an extra solarium added into his home at some point.
He suffers from seasonal affective disorder before it was actually like a thing.
Yeah.
So he needs maximum sunlight for the winter months, and the solarium does just that. It's also like the greenhouse. So natural.
There's plants everywhere. It is beautiful. And you both are there. You both are there when the the valet James comes to make an announcement and knocks like on the doorway or wherever. Excuse me, Lady Phoebe, Lady Clarissa. The investigator has arrived and is waiting in the sitting room for you.
James, thank you so much for letting us know. I really appreciate everything you've done for us and Lord Walnut.
Of course.
We will surely get to the bottom of this. I'm sure you're just torn to bits.
And when you arrive in the sitting room, You were completely expecting a middle-aged woman, but the person you see there is a young woman in her mid-20s. Uh, nice blonde, like bob, very short hair, like just um, like those really tiny, like rimmed glasses, and um, like a very simple beige kind of dress, and very bookish looking, almost like a blonde Velma from Scooby Doo,
Love it.
but like Regency era. If
Yeah,
you want to
yeah.
like
Yes.
Regency era Velma with blonde hair. There you go. That's the description. I'm sticking to it.
Hell
And
yeah.
she says, hello. I was told that you are the ladies of the house that I am looking for.
Certainly.
Yes.
Hello. My name is Lady Susan Huntington. My aunt was supposed to investigate this, but she sent me instead and told me it would be a good learning experience. I hope you don't mind the sudden change.
I make eye contact. I make eye contact with Clarissa to just be like, um, well, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Lady Susan. Thank you so much for coming here on such short notice and helping us resolve my husband's murder.
There
Yes.
is a knock on the doorway. It is the doctor that was checking the body and everything, and she hands over a like file to Phoebe, and like it's just her notes, and the words anaphylactic shock stick out to you from those notes of the investigation, like the from the doc from a medical perspective.
Mhm.
And then she says, we've taken care of the body and we will uh, take it to the morgue for you and everything. It's all done as part of the arrangements that were made early this morning.
Thank you so much for conducting this thorough investigation. Lady Clarissa, may I give this to you to handle? I'm just overcome with grief.
Of course. Of course. And I take it from her.
If
And I clutch it to my chest.
um if there's nothing else, the doctor says, if there's nothing else, I'm going to continue handling the transfer of the body and take care of this for you.
Yes. Please.
My deepest condolences. And then the doctor leaves. And now you are in a room with a young Lady Susan, who was apparently named after her very famous, very talented investigator aunt. And she says, now I understand that you are all still in mourning, but we're going to need to have a conversation about where everyone was and what was happening the last several days, just so I get a better idea of what the situation is, if you don't mind.
Yes, yes, of course. I don't want to do anything that impedes upon your very important and necessary investigation. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. If you would gather the rest of the household, and perhaps we can have a conversation somewhere, wherever you would like.
This was Lord Walnut's favorite place. Perhaps we could gather here.
Of course.
He loved a good sweat on his brow. You know. Anyway.
Mm.
It's very impressive very impressive solarium.
I could we send like a servant to go get everyone
Absolutely.
else? Okay. Yeah.
You
I just-
hear the symphonic familiar scuttling. It's almost like, a rhythmic beat of servants walking and doing what they're told. And several minutes later, Byron and Letitia are also now joining you.
Hello. Byron always
Hello,
announces himself
everyone.
walking.
Hello, I'm Lady Susan Huntington, the younger Lady Susan. My aunt was supposed to be on this investigation, but she sent me. She thought it would help me learn to, go on an investigation like this. Such a high-profile investigation, of course. In any case, I just wanted to speak to each of you and find out uh, the situation from all of you, what has been happening the last couple of days. I understand it was a severe allergic reaction to something. The doctor provided some of those details to me to help in my investigation.
Yes, she said that whatever it was must have been nuts of some nature, and Byron here says that this is a nut-free household.
It is.
So
yes.
Letitia has to refrain from saying what she said before.
I haven't had a
She's-
nut
she's-
since I was 5.
She's writing things down.
Fascinating, Byron.
That says a lot about Byron.
Oh my god. Oh my
I didn't know what you were all
God.
talking about. Byron is.
This game isn't historically accurate.
It's fine. Yeah, that is a very excellent point. We don't care that much about that. But y'all are amazing. I love you so much. Okay. So Lady Susan is writing things down. Keywords: nut-free household, anaphylactic shock, allergies, death? Question mark? And then she's also low-key doing that ADHD doodling thing while other people are talking in her notebook. And then she says, so are there any events in the last several days that could have possibly
Sorry.
Oh,
Look at
there's a kitty on
A bit-
screen.
had allergens introduced to your home?
Well, yesterday was his birthday. We held a large celebration in order to make sure he knew exactly how everyone in this home appreciated him. Isn't that right, Obi?
The cat is canon, by the way.
Yes.
Oh, of course, birthday party. And who was in charge of the food? Perhaps I can ask them.
Okay, he's done.
I think Clarissa speaks up and she goes, well, the staff was in charge of most of the food. We have cooks on board. So
Okay. I'm going to have to check in with someone from the kitchens, but I'm sure that everything will be all right. Are there any other allergens besides the ones that the doctor mentioned?
No, I think it's just nuts.
Okay, well, the next part is going to be where I sit down with each of you one-on-one and ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Okay.
So that concludes our first phase of this chapter, the novel chapter, the introduction chapter. We are going to move on with the I know what the word is, interview portion. So how this works is that each of you will suggest. So, okay, Lady Susan is going to interview each character, and then the other players can suggest questions to ask them in the RP section. I mean, I guess even the player whose character is being interviewed can also suggest questions, but so who wants to be interviewed first?
I'll go first. Why not?
Okay, so yeah, throw some suggestions out for Lady Susan's questions, because this is fun too. I like this part where we get to kind of
And I'm gonna write every
make
single
things
question down.
dramatic.
Okay. Well, first of all, for you, Anne, do we have an estimated time of death?
Oh, that's a good question.
I assume the doctor would be able to figure out, even if
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
I
this
just
amount of
I just
hours.
hadn't thought of that.
Yeah.
It was sometime in the like
I mean, if he goes into an anaphylactic shock,
after
that
dinner
would
probably.
that
Like,
would
I'm
go
allergic
very
to
quickly, right?
nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah,
would
it
go
would have
very
probably
quickly.
been like
So
yeah,
The
it
evening.
probably would have been like
right after like the birthday festivities, then like right after having the cake, he was like, "Oh, I don't feel so well. Let me just like
yeah. So that would be
have
that
a
would be
have a
the
moment."
that would be the report.
Oh, well, why don't we have one of the questions be like, when did you last see Lord Warner as well?
Okay.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Okay.
Where were you last night between these hours?
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever the hours are.
I guess I could. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, where were you at the time of death?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say you guys had cake a little bit later, like 8 p.m. Like you had an
As
extravagant
dessert,
party, had a
maybe,
long dinner.
you know.
Yeah,
Cake as
there was a
dessert.
whole thing.
Of course.
There's several different, stages of dessert before the cake, obviously.
There you
so-
go.
Absolutely,
Exactly.
it's almost
We are
like
a
how
fancy
you would do
household
it.
after all.
Exactly. First you have a drink, then you have a little bit of ice cream.
A little
then you
cheese
have-
board.
Yeah, there you go.
It's almost like how they do it at weddings.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah,
The cake is like the big thing at the
it's just
end.
like little bits all over.
Love that. Love that.
Okay. Any other suggestions?
How are you related to Lord Warner?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your relationship to him?
Okay. Just.
Do you know
things
why
that-
other people are here?
Okay.
Oh.
Mm.
Okay. All right. So, Lady Susan, Lady Susan's walks up to Lady Clarissa and says, if you don't mind, coming with me to a private area. The solarium is quite pretty, but we should have this conversation away from prying ears as the scuttling of more servants. Like there's just tap tap tap.
The solar's next door and it's smaller.
Yes, please feel free to use my private rooms.
Um,
um,
yeah, Clarissa like finishes her martini in like one big gulp, um, and then like smacks it down, and she pops the olive in her mouth, and she puts the toothpick in the glass, um, and then she stands up, and I think she leads. I think she leads Lady Susan not to the sunroom because I think that she would feel like that's too close to the other people.
Mm.
Um, and so she would rather go upstairs to her own room, I think.
so yeah, I mean, probably Clarissa has access to like, aside from her actual like bedroom, like uh her own like study or like
Yeah,
some
her own
kind
like
of
sitting room, maybe. Like,
sitting
yeah,
room.
yeah.
Okay. And
That has a
she,
couple cute
Can
chairs.
I
so Lady
also,
Susan,
sorry, before we start doing the questions, can I put forward a possible token negotiation
sure.
for Clarissa, who's had her morning martini to stave off last night's effects? Maybe
Ah.
Clarissa is feeling a little fuzzy and maybe talks a little too much during these interviews.
Ooh,
Is what I'm putting forward
Ooh.
here. So Clarissa maybe talks against her interest a little bit here, and maybe reveals that one piece of information too many.
I like
that is a really good idea, and I think that I would. Yes, that is very good. I like
Make
that.
sure to
So
track
I'll
that
take that off.
exchange.
You get my token, so I've got one
All
less.
right.
You've got one more.
Excellent.
Uh,
And that
hold
is
on.
how the main mechanic of good society works.
I don't know. Oh, there we go. Got
You call it out. I would like to spend this resolve token. I would like to suggest something here. You
Hell
know?
yeah,
That's
it's really cool.
that's
I
great.
like that.
And first of all, I would like to say I'm sorry for your loss. So just so I'm clear, how are you related to Lord Walnut? I'm not familiar with your family.
Well, I am his sister. Um, I left the house out of sheer rebellion, really.
Of
My
course, of course.
parents, they were always living the lavish lifestyle while I saw my friends who were living in poverty absolutely just wane away, and I just wouldn't have it. They were vile and cruel, and I just had to leave the house. I couldn't stay here longer.
Of course, of course, of course. I understand. And um so when did you last see your brother uh last night?
Oh, at the dinner table,
Oh.
we were having.
And you can attest to the fact that this home is in fact not free.
No, no, I can attest to that. Yes.
Of course, of course. I just wanted to check.
Ah,
And where were you between 8 and 10 p.m.? The the doctor uh, mentioned that that was where she had estimated his passing.
yes. Well, well, he went off from the table. He needed to have a moment, he said. And so everyone was just, doing their own thing. It was just after he'd left, we had a couple more drinks, and um 8 to 10 p.m. Well, I was walking home to I was not walking home. I was walking back to my own room. I well I was looking around, and I was looking around for my brother, of course, and I was in Lord Byron's room, and um the teacher's room, and after that, I went to my own chambers.
Interesting. And you see her furiously scribbling. Okay. I have one last question.
Yes.
Is there anyone in this estate that would want to cause Lord Walnut harm?
There might be something to be said about Lord Byron, who
Ooh.
might be, the will might have his name in it, with tons of money. Of course.
And do you...
However, Letitia's not free of charge either. I mean, coming in so late, and she's just in this household, and right as she arrives, this happens. It's just very odd.
Of course. And she's just writing furiously, like the wheels are turning in her brain. And then she says, thank you for your time, Lady Clarissa. I'm going to continue on with my investigation. Are you all right? Do you require a glass of water or something? I know this was a very emotional conversation.
Please, the martinis will help tremendously. Don't worry about it.
Okay. I'm going to go. And she like walks backwards out of the room, like looking at Clarissa, like, you're gonna be okay, but she doesn't say anything. She just like.
And as she does
Whoa.
that, she sees Clarissa like take off the hat and like throw it across the room, very dramatically, and then just like put her face in her hand, and then just.
And that is when the door closes as Lady Susan goes to speak to someone else. So who do we interrogate next? Who wants to volunteer?
You're muted, but
I would love to volunteer.
Oh, you want to volunteer? Okay,
Mhm.
excellent. Do we have any questions that are different specifically to ask Phoebe? Any ideas you want to throw in there to make it dramatic?
Why did you marry a man of such advanced age?
Oh.
I can do that.
Nice. Okay, what else we got? Any other specific ideas? Because I've got the basics down, but
Yeah.
do we have something
Uh-huh.
specific to suggest?
Did, as a new well, not new, but as his new betrothed, did Phoebe know that Lord Walnut was allergic to nuts?
Oh,
Good question. Other than that, I don't have any more questions. I think those are
I think
very
the rest
dramatic.
cover it, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, the rest we can just go with it. I just thought part of it is just like adding some drama, very specific questions.
Slowly getting more and more of the scar.
Oh my goodness, Amber. So
I got this in a
FabFitFun
box, and I'm gonna use it.
when Lady
actually,
Susan,
sorry, I just thought of another good one. What will you do now that he's died?
Oh.
Um, excellent. So as Lady Susan goes to find the next person to interview, where would Lady Susan find Lady Phoebe?
Phoebe is in her room. She's drawn the curtains closed to prevent any sunlight from streaming in. And she's got like her gramophone going, like she's cranked it a little bit, and um like Winter from Vivaldi's Four Seasons is playing, and it's just like mournful, sad, everything, just pretty overwrought.
one of your servants knocks on the door and says, Lady Susan would like to speak to you. Shall we move to your sitting room?
Oh, yes, of course. That would be great. I would love to speak with her.
And she's waiting for you. I've had her wait in your sitting room for you if you need a moment.
No, it's okay. I just I needed to collect myself, but thank you so much. I will gather enough of myself up to thank you. And I turn off the gramophone.
Did you just have like the Regency equivalent of like an emo moment, like a
I
sad
did.
girl emo moment? But what if sad girl emo moment, but Regency?
Yes.
Who wouldn't?
I love that. I love that for you. When you arrive in your sitting room, Lady Susan is sitting on a chair and is writing notes down, and she says, I know you're in a time of mourning, Lady Phoebe. I appreciate you taking the time to answer some questions.
Yes, of course.
I just
Whatever helps you get to the bottom of this all.
I just, I want to I just want to cover my bases, of course. So when did you last see her betrothed? Last night.
The last time I saw him was, I mean, it was really as the cake was going out. We were all gathered around the table, excited to have one bit of celebration before we ultimately broke the news that we had finally actually gotten married. We had done it in secret, of course, but originally we were going to have pomp and circumstance and all of that, but he wanted to keep it quiet. So I understood. But after a couple bites, he realized that he needed to step up and go away, go to his study, and I tried to follow after him, and I saw Clarissa go up and attempt as well, but he denied our advances, and I'm so sorry.
I have several questions. Several questions. So I don't know if this might have anything to do with it, but why did he want to keep your wedding a secret? That seems very odd, especially for a happy couple.
Well, it was an arranged marriage.
Okay. And that's the reason why you married?
I mean, at first I didn't really know too much about him when my parents said that we were to be married, that they had selected this eligible bachelor, but who am I to deny my parents when they say married?
Of course.
I mean,
Such. Go on.
our engagement was extended, but he thought it'd be a better surprise for the family if we kept it quiet.
Of course. So it was
Especially
all
with
his.
that son of his
Ooh.
always petering about, causing trouble, lay about, not even... Sorry, I shouldn't be saying such terrible things about my son.
Of course. Let me see. And you see Lady Susan reviewing her notes. There's a whole like section about Byron now. She's just like, damn. One last thing.
Yes.
Were you at all aware of Lord Walnut's allergy?
Of course I was.
Okay. Sometimes it's possible that people are not aware of an allergy and accidents could happen, but if you are aware, I just wanted to make sure that I note that down.
I was very... He made sure when an engagement was first established that I knew to keep him away from all manner of nuts and legumes and the kind.
Of course. That's I think that's all for right now. If I have any
There
more questions,
is one thing.
mm,
I actually would want to use a resolve token
okay.
to see if I can spread a rumor.
Okay.
Or...
Okay,
Intrigue, drama.
because this is a special version of this game that does not actually have a section for us to spread rumors. You can in fact I will allow you to spend a resolve token to spread a rumor. Sure. What would you
Okay.
like to introduce to the narrative?
Okay. I want to plant a motive for Letitia to have
Okay.
been the prime suspect.
Okay, so you don't actually have to. Okay, so here's what I'll do. You don't actually have to spend that resolve token. We're gonna play this out. I'm gonna say Lady Susan actually asks. She's about to leave, and then she says, she turns around as she's in the doorway, and she says, "One last question, Lady Phoebe.
Yes, of course.
Do you have any reason to suspect that anyone in this estate might want to cause Lord Walnut harm?"
Of course. I hate... Hold on, wait. This is a better book to fan myself with. I hate... absolutely cannot believe that I'm saying this, but Letitia is my dearest best friend in the whole wide world. We've known each other since diapers. However, she is Lady Clarissa's long-lost illegitimate daughter. And she did say that she wanted to be accepted into the family by any means necessary. She came here solely with the intent of disrupting the party. I tried, Lady Susan, to deter her from this, but
Of course. And Lady Susan is now furiously scribbling on a different page for Letitia, and is just like, scribble. And then,
you didn't hear from me.
of course not. the notes of my investigation are private, of course. And then she slams her notebook shut and she says, "Thank you so much for your time,
Of course.
Lady Phoebe."
Thank you. Good luck with your investigation.
Thank you, thank you. Who wants to turn next to be interrogated?
I don't mind.
Either way.
I can go next.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm writing out a full thing of what I'm gonna say right now.
I just make everything up. Yes, and
I love the
everything.
drama. I hate when
Same.
bad
Very
things
good.
happen, but I do love drama.
Mhm.
I mean, it's one of the core what is it? One of the player expectations, or orchestrate your character's misfortunes. So y'all are doing great. Any questions that y'all want thrown at Byron for added dramatic effects?
I think someone mentioned to Lady Susan that the will had been changed.
Yeah, I think Clarissa
Yeah.
did.
So I think a good one would be if he knew that the will had been changed and what it had been changed to.
Ooh, that's an excellent question. Does anybody else have anything else to throw in there for extra drama?
Is there anyone in the house you are jealous of?
Mm.
Ooh.
That's specifically Phoebe asking.
Well, no, I mean, because he
No.
could
No,
be
yeah.
jealous of his father's riches.
That's very true.
He could be,
Oh, yeah.
like there's a lot of potential.
It's the players suggesting questions, okay?
There's
Yeah.
a lot
There's a
of
difference.
things to be jealous of. That's for sure.
Very true.
You know,
You
bad
all-
feelings, they happen in families sometimes. No.
Just
Um,
everyone. Okay.
All right. Are we good? Any other suggestions to throw out there?
Well, hold on.
I mean, a good one would be, how do I feel about Phoebe being the same age as me?
True. I
Did
was
you
thinking
see my comment in the chat? They're the same age.
they're the same age. My son, the same age. That is so funny. I was thinking about, like, because Byron found Lord Walnut. Is there a question there? I don't think so.
What did I see? Yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh.
just like, what did you see, or like, yeah, did you yeah, did you see anyone maybe leave the scene of the murder, or like, or the scene of the crime, let's say, or like the
Okay.
scene. Yeah.
Okay. So where would Lord Byron be?
He's like, sunroom. I already offered it. Obviously, we're going there.
Can
He doesn't
I?
care.
Can I? Okay, just because I think it would be funny. Can I offer you a resolve token to have had some sort of history with Lady Susan the Younger?
I would love that. Yes.
Okay, cool. Just because I think it would be funny. Like,
Maybe did I dance with you a couple of times at last year's ton, but then I didn't get back to you? I danced with you like 3 times in a row, and then I didn't make a move.
Yeah, no, it was like,
Scandalo, mija.
okay, yeah, you can have that resolve token, Byron.
Which is the equivalent of like turning her down, basically.
I will put that resolve token in for you.
Thank you.
And when Lady Susan enters the sunroom, she does that like super coy, like knock on the door frame, even though she can like see into the sunroom.
Yes.
Just like
He's on the shows long, but he's now sat up because he's a little like he's remembered who Lady Susan is now, and he's like, "Yes, come in."
there was a lot of drinking. There were a lot
Yeah.
of drinks at that
It's been a lot
party.
going on. I only just remembered. It's very embarrassing. She's like, "Yes, come in, come in."
I'm sorry that we've had to see each other again under such unpleasant circumstances.
Yes, it's not the most pleasant, is it?
I would have loved to see you under more pleasant circumstances, but
Yes,
nothing
I
ever
would.
came-
Yes, I would definitely have loved to have seen you again. Yes, I agree.
Nothing ever came of that last season.
No, I'm so sorry. Ugh, misconnections, you know. Ooh.
That just killed me.
Let's just get on with
He's
it.
like
I
not
suppose.
looking. He's like he's gotten up. He's like looking out the window at the garden. It's like, yes, it's a terrible shame.
So, when did you last see your father at the big party?
Well, I last saw him alive. Yes, I think during the Sugar Mouse phase of the dessert, which I believe was dessert number 4 of 8. By that point, I had imbibed quite a lot, so I decided to go and have a little lay down and work on my poetry. So yes, I wasn't present for the cake, but I did see him during the desserts.
Did you see anyone about, particularly near your father's study?
You know, actually, I went in the study, Susan.
Oh,
For a bit of peace and quiet, you know, it's the best writing desk in the house. And no one else was around. But I was having a little rifle through some drawers, you know, as for some ink and things. I did come across some rather interesting papers of my father's, you know.
did they have anything to do with his will?
You know, that's a great question, Susan. I'm so glad you asked. Actually, and he pulls out of his pockets 2 wills, and he lays them on. One was on the right-hand side of the desk, and one was on the left-hand side of the desk. I was looking for a lot of ink. I was writing a very long poem, and he lays them out, and he says, "Look, this is the old one, obviously going to me. This one, I'm still in, not as much." Anyway, I'll give those to you. You can have a look over.
Huh. And where did you find these? In your father's
Yes,
study?
in my father's desk. Yes.
Okay.
Then I went outside for a little stroll around the garden, and then I went to bed. Then I woke up, and all servants were like, "Your father has died," and I was like, "What?"
Is there? Oh, I have one last question. As
Is this?
interesting as this entire conversation has been,
Yes, it's been enchanting. Just like those dances were really wonderful, and I loved them all, and I would love to do it again.
you would be so lucky. And then she says, "I have one last question.
Shots fired.
Do you know of anyone in this estate that would mean to harm your father?"
Yes, everyone here, Susan. He like takes your hand. And he's like, "Everyone in this house. No one liked him. He was terrible. He was rude. He was old. Look, well, maybe not Letitia. Actually, she only just got here. But Clarissa, his sister. Why wouldn't you want him gone? He's hogging the space. She depends on him for all her money. So if he was gone, it'd be much better for her. You know, she'd have a much more free run of the place. Phoebe, well, they've been courting so long. I'm sure she'd love to, you know, get rid of the old geezer. And if you look at those wills, I think something funny's going on there. There's a lot of money moving around. I mean, I certainly have a motive. I'd love him gone. I'm quite glad he's gone, honestly, but it wasn't me. So obviously we can rule me out. Yeah, basically everyone. Not the cat. The cat, I don't think did it, but yeah.
Wrap it up.
The
And
last,
he taps Lady Susan's head like, very good. I'm glad
the
we had
last,
this talk.
the last thing Lady Susan says before she leaves is, "Lord Byron, you are too much. Really, you are too much." And she
We've told that
slowly
many
steps
times.
out of the sunroom and closes the door behind her.
He like puts his arm.
And then she continues. She continues to scribble in her notes, just like more furious scribbling. And then she goes to look for Letitia, the
Yes.
last person she has left to interrogate.
I'd say she would still be in the breakfast room because everyone else has been piecing out to go to different places. So she's just like, well, I haven't actually had anything to eat yet. So
So
you're finished with
what
everything?
happens is Lady Susan slides into the seat across from you, and she says, "I hope you don't mind me interrupting your breakfast for a moment. I know there's a lot going on." And she gestures around.
Honestly, this family is a lot, so don't worry about it.
And just so I'm clear, what is your connection to this family? Why are you here? You're not a walnut.
No, my relationship is a little bit complicated, you would say. To be honest, I'm the least important person of everyone here. It would certainly put a target on my back, but no, the truth is that I am the illegitimate child of Clarissa Walnut, and she refuses to recognize me because it would ruin her standing in society. And instead,
That is
no, go
that
ahead.
is very rough. That would mean, however, that you have no direct claim to any of this. And she
It's all complicated, but honestly, all I want is to be recognized and to be a part of the family. You have no idea what it's like being an orphan and having to find your own way. It is not a pleasant experience. And
of course not. And why do you think they think that you are the one who has done this? You seem to have the least to gain.
it makes me an easy target. Like I said, honestly, I don't know of course, what everyone else has said. I mean, I hope that they wouldn't just throw me under the carriage, but yeah.
Between you and me, you're so far under the carriage that you're practically being run over. Unfortunately,
I am not surprised. So I'm not sure. I mean, Phoebe and we've known each other for a long while, and she knows more than a fair share of my secrets. Probably more than I know she does, knowing her. I would hope that she wouldn't try to use those against me, though.
I would hope not for your sake. You seem the most sane out of everyone here, the most reasonable.
Mm, well, it helps that I didn't grow up with this family, and I didn't grow up with money, I think.
Of course. And how long have you been here at the estate?
A few weeks. It hasn't been that long. I sent a letter to Lord Byron about 2 months ago. I was telling him that I'm a distant relation. I didn't give him any specifics, of course, because I wanted to speak to him when I arrived here. And Phoebe and I came together. Um, she she came under the pretense of finally meeting her betrothed after so long, after being engaged for so long. And while she said that it was arranged, she really became infatuated with Lord Walnut the moment we arrived. And I don't know, it seemed like true love if such a thing exists. But yes, we were here probably 2 weeks before their little secret marriage occurred, and it's been a couple more since then.
I don't know how relevant this might be, but I am curious about something if you'll indulge me, since
Of course.
uh, we're having this conversation. Do you know anything about why they wanted to keep their marriage a secret?
I honestly don't know. You see, Phoebe says that they have kept it a secret, and yet she loves to tell everyone that they have kept it a secret. It is not as secret as she claims it to be. All of the servants know. Everyone here knows. So I'm pretty sure that everyone who matters knows. And then some who don't matter also know.
That's fair. uh, I appreciate you taking the time to speak to me.
Of course.
One last question before I go.
Of course.
Between you and me, who do you think did it?
That's really hard to say. I mean, I feel like Byron's a lovely lad, but he is not the sharpest tool in the shed, so coming up with a method of murdering his father is not really in his wheelhouse.
You immediately see a very strong reaction to Byron's name when you're speaking, but she doesn't say anything. She just nods.
And then, as for the others, I know Phoebe. I've known her for a very long time, but she's a lot less open than she appears to be. She'll tell you everything under the moon, under the sun. You know all, but really, it comes up empty. And Clarissa, well, my mother does not. She's very cold. She's very calculating, and she does everything for her own benefit and no one else's. And then, of course, there are all the servants and party guests, and honestly, I could not say, but that's the best
Well,
I can give you.
I think that looking at the circumstances, it would have to have been someone close who knew about Lord Walnut's allergy.
The irony of that name.
It does not escape me. I find it quite funny.
Yes, well, neighbors knew not to send, Byron was telling me, neighbors knew not to send nut products to the house or anything like that. So it could be a wider range,
Or maybe an inside job.
possibly. Who knows?
Hmm.
Hopefully you.
I'm certainly working on figuring it out. And she turns to a page in her notebook that is literally like a written out conspiracy board type situation, like a connected to different things. And it's just like she looks at this and then she shuts the note, like the journal notebook, and she says, "Well, I'm certainly working on it. Uh, Thank you for your time, Miss Harewood." And she elegantly like stands up and
Before you go, try a bit of this cake. And she had gone back to the kitchen and gotten a slice of the cake from the night before and was taking a bite out of it. Tell me what you think of it.
She takes a bite and she says, it's quite tasty. Are those cashews in, does that taste like cashews in the batter?
I think so. Curious.
Huh. It's, you get past the frosting, you can notice, it's a little more noticeable once you get past the frosting. Interesting.
Something to keep
It
in
is
mind.
quite delicious. Thank you for the snack. She only takes like a small piece from it, right?
Yeah.
And she says, "Well, I must be off. Thank you for having this chat with me, Miss Harewood."
Of course. Best of luck with your investigation.
And that is officially the end of the interview phase. We have one more phase to go before we go on our break, and it is the epistolary phase. In regular Good Society games, people write letters to other people, and it's one of my favorite parts of the standard game. However, we are dealing with a mystery under one roof, so everyone's characters are in the same house. You can leave notes for each other, or write to someone out in the ether, if you'd like, or you can write a journal entry, and you have 2 turns to do it.
So how does this work exactly with the game?
Essentially, it is the end of the day.
Yes.
And you are essentially off doing your own thing. You can write letters, you can write a journal entry, that sort of thing. I probably should have specified that. It is the end of the day. Everybody's gone off to do their own things after dinner. Lady Susan has left to figure out what the heck is going on and sort through her own notes. And you are all left to your own devices. So if there are no volunteers, I'm going to start picking people. So who wants to go if they have an idea?
Yeah, I really don't have an idea.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I said I don't have an idea. So go right ahead. Please.
We can also spend resolve tokens to get a letter as well, can't we? Is that right?
In standard Good Society, yes. I mean, I guess I could just, if you really wanted to, I could write a letter on behalf of someone that you wanted to.
I
to
check, and I can't think of one right now, but I like my options.
It's because it's a shorter game and it's a one-shot under different rules. It's very odd, but I mean, I could make a letter happen for you if Lord Byron wanted one.
Maybe I'll think about it. But Anya
you can have a very heated letter from Lady Susan.
I mean, I was thinking that I might be quite bad, but
no, yeah. I think that Letitia would write a little note for Lord Byron, now Lord Walnut, maybe ? Who knows what the line of succession is currently, but would leave a note for him in the sunroom, thanking him for his assistance in dyeing her roots, because she is very blonde and does not have dark red hair at all.
Okay.
Just that's note in the solar, because honestly, they're the only 2 so far who really go in their sunroom, solar, whatever. We have
so many.
The solarium is the bigger one. The sunroom
solarium, solar, sunroom.
Yeah, we have so many.
There are 3 now. No,
they keep growing. Every time you look away and look back, there's another one.
They're multiplying.
Oh no, conservatory as well.
That's the true murder. It's the sunrooms.
Okay. That's
Somebody guess.
It was the house.
Not the
what if
monster
Encanto,
house.
but the house is a murderer?
Not the
Um,
monster house. Oh no.
okay.
The house was
Sorry.
the killer the entire time.
That's all.
Okay. Different game. We'll
got
try
Yeah,
that
next
for a
time,
different
next time.
game.
Yes.
Does anybody have another a letter or a journal entry or something?
I think Clarissa would leave a note to Phoebe saying saying like, well, I've totally screwed the pooch on that interview. She might have suspicions of me. Lay it on thick that it is definitely not me.
And this
Absolutely.
is when you frame her.
Who's next?
I would love to do a journal entry.
Okay, let's go.
Hold on. Wait. I need my fountain pen.
Oh.
Yes,
Ooh.
we get
And-
fancy.
My pad of Post-its, because that's historically accurate.
There you go.
Dearest diary, it has been one full day since I have been without my Lord Walnut, and his passing has utterly shattered every essence of my being. He was rich in kindness and gentleness, as well as other things.
Oh my god.
I cannot possibly go on without him. And I feel as though my heart shall break if I cannot possibly carry on his legacy properly, the way we designed it. I must do everything in my power to make sure that he is. I must do everything in my power to make sure that he is rightfully memorialized in the annals of time and space itself.
Oh my god.
Sincerely yours, Phoebe. What last name did I give? Phoebe Griffin Walnut. Esquire.
Oh my god.
Beautiful.
I did not.
Very nice.
I am dying.
Wrap it up, everyone, because that was amazing.
Beautiful.
That needs to be highlighted and more immortalized on the internet forever.
That was beautiful.
I hope
I
this
need-
goes on YouTube. I will show.
I need to share with you
I
guys
will show this as part of my portfolio forever.
after the stream. I need to share with you guys the paragraph that I wrote that I didn't get to say in the interview.
Mm.
Oh no!
Scandal.
I'm sorry about that. Put it on a Google Doc. I'll read it later to make up for it. Philippa,
ready.
does Byron have
I
anything?
found my
Oh.
quill.
Oh, fancy.
Fancy.
I should have done mine with my quill.
Yeah.
Look at
You have one
that.
quill. I have two.
Wow, yours is so long. I love it.
So
Oh, that's
I'll go.
fanciful.
I'm going to write to Clarissa. A little note
God.
under Clarissa's door, and I say, "Dear Clarissa, lovely aunt of mine, we haven't always seen eye to eye. After all, you like giving away our money to other people, and I like spending it on myself. However, it has come to my attention that if Phoebe did in fact marry Lord Walnut, she is the next inheritor of all of that money, not me, and therefore I would give some to you. So if I were you, I would think very clearly and carefully about whether Phoebe is really your friend here and whether blood might be thicker than water. And maybe we should have a little chat tomorrow about what's been going on here. I was wondering if I could also spend a resolve token to know something that I might not know. Is that
what
one of
is it?
so my
What is
thought?
it that?
My thought
What
was
is it? Mhm.
sorry.
Sorry, I was gonna say, what is it that you would
What is
like
it?
to know?
So what I would like to know is that Clarissa is the person who's in charge of the household like tasks, like organizing parties, ordering and like telling the cooks what to order and things like that.
Oh, yes, I was in
Clarissa,
charge of that.
it you can either accept or accept
Negotiate or say no.
conditionally or say no.
Oh, I mean, if you know that, that makes my case a lot worse.
But it would be some fun blackmail material.
Yes, it sure would.
You're welcome to say no though, of course.
You're also welcome to add something onto the thing, like yes,
Yeah, I
but
was
what
thinking
if?
about that
Take your time.
because I
I
think
would
that.
like to say,
Sorry,
sorry,
go ahead.
I
No,
was just gonna say, I
go.
would like to say that the second turn is optional. If you guys don't have any ideas for other things that you want to do, that's absolutely okay. Go ahead.
Because what would I like want in return for you to know this? What is important for me to know that
You can
Lord
know
Byron
something about
has?
me. You could know about my past excursions with Lady Susan.
That would be very interesting because I could also use that against you.
So it would be a sort of tit-for-tat type situation.
Mhm.
I think that once we go on our break, you guys can think about that a little bit, and then we can resolve this at
Cool.
the start of our next phase.
Very good.
But for now, does anybody else have any notes, things that they want to do?
No, I sign it off.
You-
Love, Byron.
Your favorite
Oh.
nephew.
Extremely elaborate signature.
My,
Your
Of
favorite.
course.
Love your favorite nephew.
Love, Byron.
I mean,
Love
he
your
is
former
my
nephew.
favorite nephew. God.
He's
Good
the
job.
only one.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, if there are no other things for the epistolary phase, we are now going to take a 10-minute break because y'all have earned it. Thank you very much to all of the viewers and everything. We'll be right back in
Yeah.
10 minutes.
Thanks for watching. Stick around. Love you.
Welcome back. And we are now at day 2 of this mystery over at Caraway Creek Manor, the Walnut Estate. So it is now day 2, and everybody is waking up, and they're dealing with things. I don't know how well they're dealing with things, but they are dealing with things. Now, for our second novel chapter, I'm going to go around the table and I'm going to ask each of you to suggest a scene that you would like to have with someone. I know that there was one that was already set up through a note. So make sure you all start coming up with ideas. We're going to start with the one that Philippa set up with Byron and Clarissa. Tell us when this is happening during the day and set the scene for us, please.
I think I included in the note where to meet, which I think I suggest a little morning walk in the garden, amongst the rose bushes and things. Maybe to strategically go through like the family, memorial plot or whatever, to like remind Clarissa of the bonds of family. And also because Byron is very dramatic, so he's like, oh, early morning, misty, by a tomb, how exciting. So he's just standing like waiting for you.
Okay. And so I think I walk up and I look at Byron and I go, "Why are you standing like that?"
It's dramatic, don't you know?
Of course.
He's like got one foot up on like a little stump, and he puts down. Yes. Anyway, you got my note then.
Yes.
Good. Have you had any chance to think any further about what I was saying? You know.
She just starts walking and she goes, "Well, yes. Of course, you know that I have full control over the kitchen. That is true. However, I know things about you, Byron."
Oh, do you know? I mean, everyone knows everything about me, so.
Do they? Do they know about your little vacation with the Lady Susan?
He sort of stops and he's like, no, not everyone does know about that, actually, Aunt Carissa. That was a little embarrassment. That, yes. Well, maybe in that case, we both have things we know about each other, and therefore, my point of the letter was we should work together.
Work together.
Quid pro quo, you know? Look, you can't seriously want Phoebe to take over the Walnut estate. You lived here most of your life. I know you were away from it. I've lived here most of my life. Well, all my life. She's new, you know. She's going to change everything. She might not keep you on. She might boot you out. She might boot me out. You know. And, you know, I just want you to think, do you really want that to happen? We could end up having to live in town all of the time. How awful would that be?
Oh no.
God, Byron. You have learned nothing from why I left this estate in the first place.
Why did you leave? All I know is father said you flounced off in a fit, and it was all very embarrassing, and then you came back.
I flounced off because this family is horrendous. This family thinks only about itself, about the wealth that they have, about keeping it for themselves, about hoarding it like a dragon. They know nothing about the world outside, Byron. They know nothing about what goes on in the lives of people who have nothing.
Like Letitia.
Don't you dare bring up her name like that.
Letitia had nothing. She's not someone that you helped, from what I've heard.
That's different. Self-preservation.
Oh, so it's okay for you to self-preserve, Clarissa, but it's not okay for me to spend money on myself, even though it is my money. Well, my father's money, but mostly my money. It will be my money at some point, unless Phoebe takes it. I don't know. It just seems all very twisted and confused to me, Clarissa. I think you need to take some time to think about, you know, if your morals are going to apply to one thing, shouldn't they apply to everything? And what are you going to do if you endanger your own daughter by getting all messed up in this?
Listen, she was walking beside you, but now she's twirled her dress and is like in front of you and has stopped you.
I imagine there's like a tree and he's like, he's not actually taller than you at all. He's like the same height. Like, okay.
Yeah, and she goes, "There are things in play here that you have no idea about. Why should I keep you on? Why should you even be here? There is no reason for me to keep you around, Byron."
No reason for you to keep me? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about things that you don't know about.
Okay, well, I can see I'm obviously not getting through to you then, Aunt. So I'll just leave you to think about what I've said. In the end, is family not more important? Even if it's not for me, is Letitia not more important to you than some lady you met who's taken you in for a bit? But how long is that going to last? Look, I may be a player. Things may have happened between Lady Susan and I. It was very embarrassing. It's happened several times now. I don't know what's wrong with me. Anyway, look, just think on it.
Yes, about that. Why wouldn't you be, twisting the narrative in your favor?
I don't have to because it's clear, obviously, I didn't do it.
Are you
'Cause I'm-
sure about that?
Well, look, I've told Lady Susan all I know, and that should be enough. So, and he turns to walk, but obviously, if you want to say any last things to him, swishing his tailcoats in the breeze.
You just hear her go, of course, you believe that.
He stops back. Little riding boot's getting wet in the morning dew.
I would like to just take a moment to comment on how very on brand we are with our tone.
Yes.
Very black comedy indeed.
Yes.
Very good. I love it. But
You
also
are-
very dramatic still.
Yes.
yeah, you are all doing so great.
That's really good.
I know that Anya, you had a
Mhm.
scene you wanted to do.
Yes. So I think that Letitia would seek out Phoebe at some point, maybe not in the morning because she knows that Phoebe isn't really a morning person, but to check in on her because she was behaving very strangely yesterday, and she's a very flamboyant person, but not exactly like that. So, where would she find you in like right after lunchtime? Where would Phoebe go?
Sorry, I was like, why isn't my villain playlist playing? Sorry. um, there is there's all manner of rooms that force sunlight into the house, but there's also a oh my god, what is the proper word for this? Like the piano room.
Yes.
There's also a piano room where Phoebe would spend her days writing music to make, to play while Lord Walnut worked.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's there. She's transposed one of the waltzes that she wrote from a major key into a minor key, so it sounds extra melancholy and sad. And just she's still wearing like her widow blacks, and is just like, and she's really taken the tempo down to like it's very legato, very like slow, almost like a dirge. Yeah, it's still waltzy, it still has that like 3/4, but it's
Yeah.
yeah. Do I hear you come in, or
I don't know. You're pretty focused, and
okay.
Letitia would be quiet, walking around, and she didn't knock on the door. She just turned the knob, peeked in when she heard the music, and sees you over at the piano. And she
After
watches for a
okay.
bit.
Yeah, after the piece is over, she turns around and, oh, Letitia, I'm so sorry, I didn't realize you were there. I'm sorry. How are you feeling this morning, my darling?
I'm perfectly fine. How are you?
I mean, it's been what now, a day and a half.
Yeah, thereabouts.
I'm nowhere near okay. I'm absolutely gutted.
Well, that's obvious from that piece you just played. Was that the new one
Yeah.
that you were writing?
Yes. It was his favorite out of the 5 already composed since being here, but
Pretty quick music writing there. I mean, I know you love writing it, but
I mean, growing up in society, you have to have some sort of talent in order to stand out among the crowd and attract suitors. I'm sure you understand.
yes, and I've always been surprised that your parents would honestly foist you off on Lord Walnut when you are so beautiful and so
So
good.
you. I mean, you come from his lineage, do you not? The same could be said for you.
And I don't know how to do this exactly. I want monologue token to be used in this conversation. And I want to know what your character really is thinking about right now.
You have done it absolutely correctly. Please. Okay, so I am going, all you have to do is where it says MT in your character sheet, you
Okay.
can remove the check mark,
Okay.
and then I will just note that where it says have you monologued, I will put yes for Phoebe. I
Done.
know how to speak. Here you go. Go
So,
ahead,
Phoebe,
Phoebe.
what are you really thinking about right now?
Okay. She closes the lid of the piano and she's like, I just, as women growing up in society, it's really, really difficult it's really, really difficult to be able to share your true feelings and share your true emotions. And it just, I just don't know how to be sad. I don't know how to show that or to really demonstrate mourning or any of the sort because I've never been told that it's okay to demonstrate those emotions. All I know is, I've picked up from plays and other delights that we've dallied in, but I really, really am torn up by this. I really, truly did love Lord Walnut. And though it was an arranged marriage over the course of the courtship, I did grow very quite fond of him and everything he had to offer. Just a nice, simple life away from the spectacle.
Mm-hmm.
I I I don't trust Lord Byron whatsoever. He's clearly gotten up to some nonsense with that investigator, Lady Susan. How unfair. But he brings in a new woman every single night, and it is absolutely disgusting the way that he.
So Letitia goes up to you and just wraps her arms around you and kind of like presses their hand gently on the back of your head so that like if you look like you're about to cry for real. So and they're a little bit shorter than you, so it's a bit awkward.
Yeah. She like places like her temple on the shoulder on your shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's. Would it be okay if Philippa? Would it be okay? And I can spend a resolve token too if this is necessary. I also had been rejected by you at one point, like you did, Lady Susan.
Ooh. Ooh.
Philippa's a player.
I mean,
I want to actually make it worse for me. So
Okay.
I feel like the reason why Byron is not very good at this is because he's so into himself. He's just terrible at talking. So he like rejects people because he's aware that they're probably gonna like deep down he's aware they're gonna reject him. So he
Mhm.
dances with you, but you refused the second dance because you realized you
Oh.
didn't like him. Maybe would that be a good sort of compromise?
Yeah.
Cool. I like it.
okay, so then the exchange can be made. Make sure you
Yeah.
track that.
Okay. Love it.
Excellent. So let's see.
I think I have. So yeah, I think that's the end of my monologue. I think there's like, she's like, it just. I think she just says it. It was supposed to be Byron, but doesn't specify.
No.
Oh.
All
Letitia
right.
doesn't quite understand what that comment meant, but is just like rubbing your back, saying whatever soothing things. And it's just like people deal with grief in weird ways. It's okay. Do what you need to do. But they are a little curious. That's it. And
I would like to point out for the audience that there was a thing in the past between Byron and Phoebe,
It was
and
long
then
before.
she somehow got betrothed to his father.
Mhm.
Just to make that clear.
Super clear.
This
But
is
what we're saying is
intrigue of
nothing
the.
actually happened. So there was the beginnings, but it didn't actually go anywhere.
This is
Mhm.
intrigue of the highest degree.
Mhm.
Oh my
I-
god,
I love
I've
good
watched enough
society,
reality.
y'all.
this is so good.
I've watched enough reality TV that I know how to raise the stakes.
Yeah.
Do you know how many times I've watched Flavor of Love? How many times
Yeah!
I've watched Rock of Love?
I watched Flavor of Love.
We're out
Yeah.
here. We out here. I found my
Okay,
people, my
all
things.
right. So who Inez, Amber, do you have things seen ideas you want to put out there?
This is even better than The Bachelor, someone said.
Period.
Thank you, Neil.
Honestly.
Thank you.
Obviously now there has to be a showdown between Byron and Phoebe, but it doesn't have to happen now. It can happen later.
Well, we do have this novel chapter to get all of the drama sorted
Yeah.
before the big like everybody points fingers at everybody else moment in the confrontation phase. But if you want to do that, that could also be a thing. Inez, Clarissa, do you want to do something with Clarissa right now?
Yes, I think I do want to have like a meeting with Phoebe, before we start pointing fingers at each other and all that.
Yeah.
So, I think that Clarissa would just go find Phoebe somewhere. And maybe that Clarissa even stumbles in on the last moments of what Letitia and Phoebe are doing, and then she like comes in and she's like, "My goodness, I am so sorry. I did not mean to interrupt. Um, I just wanted to say, Phoebe, if you ever have any time, please come see me. I would like to talk to you for a moment."
Absolutely. Letitia, thank you so much as always for being assured. And if there's anything I can do for you to help you with your mother, actually, maybe I could leave you two to it while you're here.
Oh no.
Not this.
I mean, if you want it to happen, monologue tokens or not
Oh.
monologue tokens, resolve tokens.
I think Clarissa gives you
I
the stare of hell. If looks could
I would-
kill,
I would like to offer a facilitator resolve token for the thing to happen. I would offer it to Clarissa. For just Phoebe to be like, "I'll talk to you later, bye," and then Letitia and Clarissa have a
That's
scene.
crazy. Okay, sure.
I don't know what's gonna happen. I just want to see it because it's
Okay,
funny.
sure. Sure, we'll do it.
Okay.
So we are left
take one
alone.
of the facilitator tokens, and I will give it to Clarissa. Because why not?
Okay.
I
to
mostly
make
just
this
needed a second because I
uncomfortable.
haven't had lunch yet, and I
Oh yeah.
need to finish my snack.
Go ahead.
Consume.
Let's make it uncomfortable. Yes.
Yeah, lovely. And so we are left alone, and so it is truly a silent moment where Clarissa just goes,
Took me a second. So Letitia kind of just rolls her eyes to herself, and she's already standing beside the piano. So she just reaches out and plays a couple of keys, not playing anything really, just to have a little sound, and then presses and holds on one. Let's go. So, Mother, are you ever going to truly talk to me?
I was hoping I wouldn't have to.
Yes, well, hopes don't always come true.
You have a point there.
You're the one who left me 31 years ago. I get that you were not married. I understand that. I know how hard it can be to live in this society, to be a single mother, all of that. I understand. But now, can't you even recognize that I am your daughter?
It's too embarrassing, Letitia. I fled this home, hoping that I would never need any help any longer. And then I have an illegitimate child. What would the family think, you know? They would... I was sure they would kill me. I was sure of it. I needed to keep it to myself. If I didn't, it was too shameful. Too shameful for me.
There is no shame in passion, in, yes, maybe, I don't know the circumstances. Maybe it was a mistaken night. Maybe it was someone that you truly loved. I do not know. But I grew up as an orphan. And being an illegitimate child isn't worse than that. Knowing my family isn't worse than that. And yes, these people are fairly nutty, but I had to. They're still family. They're still people deep down. And Byron does not judge you. He knows. And Phoebe, while not blood, she certainly knows. I don't know how, but she's like that. She knows how to get things out of people.
Okay, I would like to interrupt this moment
Yes.
just for a second. Someone would like to play their monologue token, and please,
Oh, you're muted.
you're muted.
I muted myself rather than unmuted myself. I would like to play my monologue token because I would love to hear some inner monologue from Clarissa. What is going on in Clarissa's head right now?
Okay.
My question is, does Clarissa actually want to take Letitia in? And how does she feel about that?
So you want to hear her inner monologue?
I think that's how it works, right? Is sort of
Yeah, it's
it can
inner
be
monologue.
yeah. So
Got
like,
it.
sort of in a noir moment, like, oh, what did I think?
Dramatic. Imagine it as a dramatic voiceover moment.
She wasn't a nerd. That.
Yeah. Okay. So while she is furiously fanning herself, her eyes like are darting around, and inside she goes, of course I'm ashamed, but what's worse than being ashamed is leaving a child behind, you moron. You absolute buffoon. It's not what I wanted, of course, but it was too much to bear. It was my choice, but a choice I never wanted to make. I think that's mostly of what's going on inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love
Now
it.
proceed with the scene as you were.
Okay.
That is. How do I proceed from that?
All I want is to be recognized. For you to be willing to tell the world that I am your daughter. Is that so much to ask?
No. No, it is not. You are right, and you deserve that. I'm so sorry.
Is that really so hard?
Yes. Believe it or not, I might need a martini after this.
I'm actually crying right now.
Oh, that was amazing.
Y'all had a moment. I love that.
That's so good.
All right.
Let's go get you a martini.
I think I take her like by the arm towards like the kitchen where she starts pouring her own martini because the servants
in the
do not
in the
do it like she
kitchen-
was.
Yeah, no, the kitchen, they try to make a decent martini. It's not strong enough for Clarissa.
Exactly. Exactly.
But when you get to the kitchens, there's a bunch of the servants. They're like super surprised to see you there, but they start pulling out things from the liquor cabinet for you.
I mean, it's
Just like
it's a little bit more.
It's the
acceptable.
afternoon. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's the 2 shots of vodka. Glug, 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 glug. Yep.
Clarissa gives the servants a lesson in how to do her martini
Exactly.
properly.
See, if you pour the alcohol, you have to pour a hefty amount because I'm an older woman who needs
High
more.
tolerance.
I'm more
Uh,
spite than blood at this point.
Exactly.
Amber, was there something
on
you
one
wanted to do
second.
with Phoebe?
I just want to point out to people watching that I am 10 years older
Yes.
than Inez.
Yes.
So this is the funniest thing.
Me. Yes. Me
Mother!
being. Yes.
In role playing, anything's possible, baby.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Yes, I think after she's poured herself this hefty martini, she turns to Letitia and she goes, how about you have yourself some free time in whatever lounge you want to lounge in, and I will talk to Phoebe.
Okay. Excuse me. I'll be in the sunroom if you want to see.
All right. I will see you then.
Okay.
Mhm. And then
There are
storm off.
martinis to be had.
Yes.
I guess
Clarissa.
Letitia brings a martini with her. She sips it and is really keen on the taste.
Yeah.
But
You gotta drink the feels away.
yeah.
There you go. Just a little bit.
So Amber, do you
We do
have
not-
seen-
Alive, everybody. In the
We do
story.
not condone alcoholism.
No.
We don't?
Please. No.
Yeah, I guess I'm working on that with my therapist.
Too real, guys. Too real.
That's the story.
Okay, Amber, is there a scene you would like to suggest?
Clarissa did come looking for me, and then I just was like, but the drama, let's raise the
Yeah.
stakes. We've already elevated, let's take it higher. But we should, peaks and valleys, so let's take it down a little bit. We can do it. Let's do a scene with Clarissa.
Okay.
And
I just want to say, I kind of buried the lead on this one, but at some point in the during this day, in the later part of the day, Lady Susan will return, and so oops, I'm too busy watching you guys be awesome and currently forgetting details.
You're good.
But yeah, please proceed.
I would like to offer a resolve token, my final one. To Clarissa. What if Byron was our intended target the entire time? He has the same nut allergy as his dad because it's genetic.
I did feel a bit itchy.
accident-
After I ate
we
that.
acci-
Okay, that is actually quite interesting. That it wasn't Lord Walnut this whole time. But why would it be Byron though? Because we want the money.
But we hate Byron more.
I would say that if you're going to do that, the resolve token should probably go to Philippa, to Byron, if y'all were coming for him.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, no.
'Cause it
Well,
does-
my thought was, as I was going through, it's not, oh, we hate him more. I just thought that was funny if I said it that way. But the thought was, okay, I just had this idea while I was having the monologue earlier, like, okay, well, we like essentially write him out of the will, but like leave him in there enough so that it's not super sus.
Mm-hmm.
And then we kill him so he doesn't get anything, and we get it all.
Ah.
I've never murdered anybody. Just, I want that on the record.
Mhm.
Are you sure about that?
I'm very sure.
Monologue token now.
Hoard of Tales does not condone murder in any way,
No,
shape, or
we
form.
sure don't.
This
Well-
is a work of fiction, a work of art created by several talented individuals. Please do not hold it against us.
However, if your man cheats on you, I have no say on that matter.
Well, I'm certainly happy for that. And I think it ties in with what we were talking about earlier with Phoebe and Byron having some history and things as well. And it
Mhm.
explains why we dislike each other so much
That's
as well.
pretty cool.
Mhm.
Yes.
So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm okay with that. And yeah, we can say maybe Byron got a little bit itchy, but he thought he'd just, he'd starched his collar too much that morning. So he hasn't realized yet.
Maybe
Or
he
maybe
just
Allergies can go away with time.
Mm. So maybe he was worse. Yeah, he hadn't had a nut since he was 5. So he thought he couldn't.
Mm.
Maybe he can now. Maybe
Oh.
grow out of it. Anyway, yeah, I'm happy for that.
wait.
That's cool.
Okay, but Byron wasn't there for the cake, so he didn't
Ooh.
have any.
Oh.
That's true.
But
Well,
that's why
hence
he's
that
not dead,
It was
right?
supposed to be Byron.
Yeah. But that's why he's not dead, because he wasn't there.
Yeah, he
However-
didn't
He
does his
have
own
the
thing.
cake.
Yeah.
Your plan
That's why it was an
failed. He didn't
accident.
have any cake.
Exactly.
Yes, so it works. Yeah, I'm okay
Yeah.
with that. If that
Yeah.
suits.
Yeah.
All right. I think the resolve token should go to Byron, though.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's fine.
Should I take one
Okay.
off?
No.
Yeah, I'll
'cause-
Either one of you
because-
can offer the token. I'll just say Clarissa, because Clarissa has the
I
butt
have-
tons
That's
on
true.
the- Take the token from Clarissa.
Yes.
Because...
There you go. All right.
Okay. Proceed as you
Yes. Our scene. So
Sorry, I'm like hunched over and I'm like, oh, hold on, my neck.
posture check. Posture check,
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
Here's that
Get
thing.
yourself your good posture.
I'm figuring out how Twitch works, and I see that I can.
Yeah.
Posture check.
Posture check.
I don't know what these buttons are for.
So I think that Clarissa would go looking for Phoebe, and then finds her, and then she goes. I think, yeah, she finds her and she goes, Phoebe, hello. I was looking all over for you. What an interesting moment you introduced there. I would
I'm
sincerely
so
like.
sorry.
I would sincerely like to say fuck you, but
I understand completely. I do apologize.
well, it worked out in the
That
end.
was quite bitchy of me.
Just a little bit. However, it worked out in the end, and me and Letitia have worked it out. However, there are more pressing matters. We're still not out of this investigation. We could still be suspects.
That's true. But I mean, that's true. I mean, I this is a first. I genuinely don't know what to say. I'm at a total loss at what to say. This has gone horribly. I mean, if Byron had actually died, it wouldn't have gotten to this point. He just would have been a body with no. Everyone would have been like, "Oh, okay, that's just Byron. He's an asshole. Everyone hates him because he's such an asshole that only thinks of himself." And now I actually have to deal with. We have to deal with losing a family member we both cared for so deeply. Sorry.
Losing my brother was not something that I was ready for. However, he was going to kick the bucket either way. We were out for the money this whole time. What happens now is that we get less money. That is the only thing that is happening. Which is, of course, unfortunate and in many ways.
Sorry, I needed to adjust because neck issues. I'm listening.
How do we keep our hands clean of this?
We murder again. No.
Oh, my goodness. You scared me.
Serial killer.
Killing Byron now would only bring attention to us.
That's true. That's very true. And I don't want to do anything to possibly injure your budding relationship with Letitia.
No. We must leave her alone. We have to put the blame on Byron somehow. He needs to be out of the picture without murder.
He needs to be out of the picture without murder. What is one thing that Byron's always wanted?
A girlfriend? I don't know.
Clearly not.
God. Then what? Am I dense?
Spotlight.
Of course.
Ooh.
So, do we give him the spotlight by putting him in it?
I was just going to say we get him hired onto a traveling circus, but that works too.
Oh.
He could use those talent. I don't know.
God. I think it is best to put all the blame on him.
I agree. I mean, he would know how intense his father's allergy is even to this day.
Yes.
He would know. I mean, he was the one who left the table before the cake was distributed. And he was the one to find the body. I mean, that's suspect in and of itself, I'm sure. And it sounds like Lady Susan already has some history with him.
What a beautiful plot we've created.
Wait, say that one more time. Sorry, I spaced out.
I said,
I
what a
told you it's the ADHD day.
No problem. I totally understand those days. She goes, what a beautiful plot we've created.
What a beautiful wedding, said the bridesmaid to the waiter.
I think that's where the scene ends.
Yeah.
Unless you have more to
Sounds good.
say.
No, I'm good.
I think did everybody get to suggest a scene?
I
Yes.
believe so.
Yes.
I
Yes.
did.
Yes.
Is there anything that you want to cover before Lady Susan arrives at the estate?
I think it should all be dramatic relations to Lady Susan from now on.
Mm.
All right. So we move on to the confrontation.
I'm fully
confrontation
expecting a
phase.
blue situation.
So, here's how this is going to work for the audience. In our online play sheet, there are 4 possible outcomes. We're going to number them 1 through 4 and decide this on stream without any of y'all knowing the context or what the options are. And it's the game part of the game, which I love. And then we are going to play out the confrontation scene, which everybody has their moment to kind of say, I think this person did it. Or, have their moment to point fingers at each other. And then Lady Susan will, I guess, announce her findings and what she's determined based on the evidence she has collected and the outcome we have chosen.
Excellent.
So if you guys would like to look at your sheet, we are going to hold up numbers 1 through 4, just
Okay.
from left to right. And we are going to reveal our votes on the count of 3. Okay? And you will hold the number of fingers out.
Oh, okay.
Under the sheet, there are 4 different outcomes.
It's a
You see?
grid here, so I wasn't sure.
There's 4 different mysterious outcomes.
We're good.
And it'll go 1, 2, 3, 4 from left to right, and we are going to decide together simultaneously, holding up a number of fingers. Also, I'm gonna laugh so hard if someone holds up 5 fingers. That's the secret ending.
Secret
The
death.
secret ending.
Secret ending.
Oh my god.
Secret ending.
Oh my god.
Okay. Are there any options that are like, are you guys cool with having all of those options open? Is there one you would like to remove? Just okay.
I'm trying to follow them open.
Have you made a decision?
Still,
Yes.
I don't know.
I know. I'm like,
Presumably, if we don't all agree, we'd negotiate and redo it.
Yeah,
and whatnot.
if we well, there's 5 of us, right? So my selection would be like a tiebreaker, I guess,
Yeah.
if you all don't agree, or we can negotiate it out.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Fuck. I did look at everyone's answer, so I'm just gonna, because I was looking at the sheet and deciding, okay, cool.
Fair,
All
fair,
right.
yeah.
Okay. I was torn between 2 and 4, but then everybody else wanted 4.
Yeah.
I was
That's
going
so
between
great.
2 and 4.
Yeah. All right. So here we go. Second last phase of the game, actually, but the last big scene before we epilogue, because there's going to be an epilogue here. So it's later in the evening, probably sometime leading up to dinner time, when Lady Susan returns. Now, you've all been notified that this was going to be the case. that Lady Susan would return and discuss her findings. And much like her older aunt, her older counterpart, she's a very astute young woman, and she's decided she has decided that she has figured out the whole situation. And she returns to the estate with her notebook in hand. Our cute little blonde Regency era Velma. And she is waiting in the sitting room, in the main sitting room. Where would you like, Phoebe? Where would you like to have this big meeting with Lady Susan? At the dining table, like where in the estate?
In his office.
Oh.
Yeah.
The scene of the crime.
I mean, by all means.
That's amazing.
I feel like, that was the big no, wait. Shit, that wasn't the climactic. Well, the office is where. Sorry, I had like 6 thoughts at once in my brain, and I couldn't.
It doesn't matter. It's all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah. The study, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
Very
The-
appropriate. Love it.
Yeah.
There's a very
study
dramatic moment in which the camera follows Lady Susan as she's being ushered to the study where you have all gathered. And she says, quite frankly, I don't know why you all have decided to gather here of all places. Seems a little bit morbid. And she clears her throat. And she says, I wanted to speak to you all because I think that I have figured out who the culprit is.
Bless you.
However, I wanted to hear from all of you first. Just check in with everybody, how the day has been. I know you've all have gone through a lot.
That is putting it mildly.
Mm.
No, nuts thirsty.
God.
I would like to spend the last facilitator resolve token for if it's okay with Byron, for Lady Susan to pull out the 2 wills that were given to her
Sure.
as part of this. And she says, before we proceed, I would like to bring this to everyone's attention. And she like takes I imagine they're like rolled up papers and just, and she's double fisting the 2 the 2 wills in her hand like this, and she says, I know that the lawyers wanted to have a proper reading of the will, but in light of my findings, I think perhaps we should have a discussion about this. And she lays the wills down, and I will give that resolve token to Byron.
I mean, I don't feel you don't need to do that if you,
Oh,
you want to just do
okay.
it, because I gave them to you in the first place. So like, I'm happy.
That's
for that
true.
To not
I
necessarily count
figured.
this. If you think
That's
it needs
fair.
to be one, but I don't mind.
No, I don't. Yeah, I forget the rules myself. But if you don't feel like it needs to be one, cool.
If you want to save it for anything else.
Well, I mean, not really. But
Okay,
let's go.
I mean, I'll take it. So
I mean, it's the end of the game. I
yeah,
just
go on. Give me more tokens.
but
Let's put them up.
if players agree on a thing, the resolve token isn't needed. It's mostly if there's
Yeah.
a negotiation.
Sweet.
Um,
Cool.
it's been brought to my attention that there are discrepancies in the original will and this new one. Do we want to have a discussion about this? Because this seems to me like something that points towards motive, and she essentially looks at everyone except for Letitia. Now is your time to speak your piece. I mean, clearly this has nothing to do with you, Letitia, but you are also free to have your say.
Well, I'm not in the will, so I don't think that it particularly applies to me.
Byron sort of steps forward. He's still feeling very confident at the moment, and he's like, "Well, and he sort of like glances over at me, like, obviously, when I found these, it was immediately obvious to me that something was afoot here." And he like points out that there's like some differences in the new will and the old will in terms of like he gets much less money than he did before because obviously Phoebe's going to be like, well, everyone knows that your secret marriage is not so secret, and you've obviously convinced my father to update the will to cut me out of it.
I didn't convince him to do anything. He didn't tell me a single thing about the will.
Of course, he didn't tell you anything.
No. I mean, frankly, he thought you should have been married off long ago.
I'm exploring and finding myself. He would never say that. He supports my artistic journey, and it takes a long time to, foster talent. So,
Well,
And
up until
how many thousands of pounds has he spent on your artistic journey? Your
plenty.
journey to find yourself?
Enough to make sure that his son is the best. So, money well spent, in my opinion. Obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Letitia has a book with her, and she opens the cover and pulls out a leaf of paper that has one of Byron's extremely poorly written poems on it.
Yes, yeah.
And she I can't make up a bad poem on the spot, so she just reads it out and is like, your artistic journey?
That was an early piece, actually. I would appreciate it if you didn't read that. It needs refining, actually. And he starts like stuttering, like,
Her ample bosoms.
look, that one was used before. That I'm just copying other people on that one. That's called learning from the masters.
Right.
Look. Yes, my father spent a lot of money on me, and I still have a way to go. 1,000 hours and all of that. But I'm not the only one who benefited from my father's money. Isn't that right, Phoebe, Carissa? We're all in that will.
It sounds like to me that someone who was used to a certain modicum of power and privilege is threatened when that power and privilege is distributed equally among the rest of the class.
But I didn't even know about it until I felt on these two wills in the office last night. Like I told Lady Susan, I didn't know it had changed. So why would I be interested in doing anything about it? I didn't even know.
Why are you flustered now?
Because you're accusing me, Phoebe.
I'm not accusing you of anything. Nary an accusation has left these lips.
Oh, Tosh. I know, I'm sure you have been telling everyone it was me. Everyone always blames me for everything just because, I like to go out a little. I like to bet on the races, I like the finer things in life. That doesn't make me a bad person. Just makes me like things. And he will continue protesting.
It makes
blustering.
me like things.
There is a look on Lady Susan's face when she says, when she speaks, that is, it doesn't match what she says. When she says, well, it pains me to say that based on all of the interviews I've conducted and all of the research I've done, you are the one that has the most evidence pointed against you, Lord Byron. And what do you have to say to this?
I say, what evidence? What evidence? The will? Pfft, could be anyone. What other evidence is there?
The fact that
Lady
you
Clarissa?
left the table
I leave the table every night. That means nothing.
right before the birthday cake was served.
Well, I'm sorry, I don't like cake that much apart from in the mornings.
He found the body and didn't even think to tell anyone until the morning.
I didn't find
You
the
said
body.
that you said that you found him with the wills, correct?
No, I didn't find him. I just found the wills, and I found. I did not. No, this is not right. And he's just like blustering. He doesn't know what to do. So, no, that was not how it went down at all, Phoebe. Don't try and put words in my mouth. That is not what I said.
So, after this confrontation, there is a kind of, if you will imagine, a post-credits scene with Phoebe and Susan. And Susan just kind of walking. She's about to leave the house, and she leans over to Phoebe and she says, I put him in his place for you. And she walks away.
Scandalo, mija.
And now we end this story with some epilogues.
Oh my god.
Dun,
Each player will write a letter detailing the events a few months after this. And this whole setup.
Lovely.
Surprise, Lady Susan was in on it.
dun.
Oh my god.
Love it. Amazing.
And whoever has their epilogue letter can go first. I'll give you a couple of minutes to think about it.
I think I know like exactly what to do here in my fancy pink notebook. I think I will write a letter to Letitia, I think.
Okay. I already wrote the words "Dear Mother," so let's do
Yes. I think it goes. My dear daughter, after Byron went to prison, me and Phoebe are holding down the fort. We are having a lovely time, of course. We've become best of friends over these last couple of months. The money is being well spent, of course, distributed among poor, and um, distributed among poor and my friends of way back who I could not help, but now I'm able to. I am having just a darndest time at the Walnut Estate. I hope you will come visit me soon enough. Um, I love you dearly, your mother.
Aww, that's so sweet.
And then she sends
Who's
it off.
next?
Well, I have the first sentence written down in response.
Okay.
So
I'll try to buy you some time.
No, it's fine. I can do it and then I can make up the rest of it. So
There you go.
it starts off, Dear Mother, thank you for your letter. I've spent the last couple of weeks exploring Paris thanks to your support. I met a lovely woman here and I love her dearly and I would love for you to meet her. So we are coming back and I hope you'll like her. I'll see you in a few weeks. Your daughter.
That's so cute.
Yes.
So cute.
That's it. That's the sequel. That is the
There we go.
the game we're gonna
The
play
wedding.
now.
The wedding.
The wedding. And then someone
Okay,
gets murdered.
It's Byron this time.
Honestly,
No, I'm joking.
I'm
honestly,
gay, I like gay.
I want to know what happened to Byron. in prison. I'm so sorry.
I kind of do.
Yep.
What's going on over there?
Oh, Byron.
Dear Letitia, jail's not so bad. Turns out all the best people go to jail. Although I will admit, not a fan of the daily hard labour or the bed. Bed, not soft at all. You know, I've had plenty of time to reflect as I break rocks every single day. And, you know, I don't think being an artist was really for me. In fact, I don't think I'm really suited for that sort of thing at all. When I get out, I think I need a whole new career. You know, maybe I'll go into the clergy. Maybe I'll go off to France and fight in the war, something like that. What I do know is no one else stood by my side while we were at the Walnut Estate apart from you. So, thank you, at least for that. I think you're perhaps one of the only people who I could consider a true friend. And, yes, and perhaps you've written to him. I'm so glad to hear about your time in Paris.
Sure.
Oh, my love, Byron! Massive signature. That hasn't gone.
Yeah, the B is like huge and the rest is so small.
The paper is this, the signature is that.
There you go. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. And then I guess finally me. I will not send a letter to anybody. It'll just
It could
I'm
be
sending a
journal
letter
entry
to
if you'd
Lord
like.
Walnut.
Wow.
Oh.
This is the first heterosexual character I've played in a long time, so please know this pains me. God.
I'm sorry.
Don't be.
It's
Don't
okay.
be. This is
It's okay.
beautiful.
I mean, she could be bi.
That's nah.
Nah.
Okay.
Cishet. My dearest Lord Walnut, it has been 180 days since the last time we exchanged words, the last time we exchanged breath, and yet mine is still gone in your absence. I regret enacting the plan that ultimately led to your untimely demise. But you would be pleased to know that at least Byron is doing something for himself for once.
In a way.
I know you always thought the best of that boy, but I could tell your trepidation with him was growing short. I mean, I could tell your patience with him was growing short as the weeks with him were growing longer and longer and longer. Letitia and Clarissa, how did we not know that they were connected, given those similar names? Just for the record. But Letitia and Clarissa have flourished in a beautiful mother-daughter relationship, and I have heard word that a wedding is soon to be planned for Letitia. For the young lady from France, it is quite beautiful. I wish we could have had more time together, but I cherish every single day, every single touch and kiss we had. I miss you eternally, and we are doing the best we can to make sure the Walnut name will continue to branch and grow. Forever yours, Lady Phoebe Walnut. No Griffin this time.
Oh, I was about to cry. I'm sorry. That was so beautiful. Wow. That's really good.
Amazing.
And that's
Fuck
my
Byron. No, I'm
friend.
joking. No, it's okay. I love Philippa. You made a great foil.
That was
That
so good.
and that, my friends, is the end of Lady Susan's murder
Wow,
mystery.
yay!
Yay!
I would like to note that I went wildly off book for a lot of it, because I never do these things as written. I've never played Good Society with
There you
rules
go.
as written.
Who does?
But we told the most amazing story
Yep.
together, and I would like to give each of the players an opportunity to talk about themselves and what they do, because they are wonderful humans that I now completely adore. Philippa, tell us about yourself and what you do and where we can find you outside of this stream.
Sure. So, yep, I'm Philippa. Okay, by @MortPhilippa online. So I'm on Twitter, TikTok, a little bit of YouTube, stuff like that. I also make games on Itch.io, Drive-Thru RPG, DM's Guild and Drive-Thru RPG. And also, if you want more of us playing and GMing, I'm GMing a game on Monday, which is Vampire Circuit Shopping. Quite a different tone to this one. But yeah, you can catch me around the internet on various different things, such as that. I pop up on various other people's streams and let them do all of the difficult tech work. And that's me.
Okay, who we got next? Amber. Your turn.
Sorry, I've never heard of Vampires Suck at Shopping. And I'm looking it up now. This sounds amazing.
It's great.
I applied to it and I was so bummed that I didn't get in.
Oh,
but
we'll have to do another one another time.
please.
Okay. Oh, Philippa, your name is here on the itch page. Okay, your review is there. Hi everybody, I'm Amber, also known as the Space Jamber on Twitter and Twitch. I call myself the TTRPG Swiss Army Knife because I write, edit, stream, podcast, do all of the things. And I'm currently open for writing and editing commissions. Pew 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 pew. I also am oh my god, what am I doing? I run TTRPG whoa, wrong part of my script. I run TTRPG study hall on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and my TTRPG study hall tonight will start in about 3.5 hours. So if you want to hang out, get some cozy co-working collaboration done, please join us on my Twitch. I'm also have just joined a short series of Shadowrun 6e on Weave the Tale on Fridays at, well, I guess tomorrow will be 2 p.m. Eastern. So if you want Shadowrun, that'd be great. I play a mob boss. That's also a cupcake. It's fine.
I love
What?
Not a real cupcake, but like her personality is very cupcake.
Got it.
Okay, I was picturing the little just
Yeah.
I love
I
love
was
that.
thinking
I
of a
love that.
cupcake going, I'm gonna give it up, but you can refuse.
I love that we had to specify. I love that Amber had to specify not an
Yes.
actual cupcake.
Now I want to make a crime game about cupcakes.
Yes.
I'm writing that down.
crime
Next one
cakes.
page.
That's
Yeah.
actually
We already
cake.
had a
wow.
crime
I'm gonna
cake
play.
today.
I'm gonna play a
so-
Decker and Shadowrun, whose avatars of cupcake in honor of Amber.
Yes.
Love that.
Do it.
Um,
But yeah, so thank you so much, Hoard of Tales, for having me. Thank you so much, Anne, for hosting an incredible game. I'm so glad I finally got to play Good Society, and it was like an honor to have people who were like, okay, yes, the drama with me. So thank you. Thank you.
I am personally so happy that you are at my table, Amber. Anya, your turn. Tell us
so-
about yourself.
I am writing things down because I like to be complicated and have a French username. So my Instagram and TikTok are in the chat. la.leon.cosplay. Twitter is laleonphoto, no periods. I also linked to my one-page pug TTRPG that I wrote this year. You get to play a pug with 6 different kinds of personalities, like 6 potential ones, and you have to find your owner, go through like cushion mazes, things like that, whatever the doggo master wants to throw at you. So it's free or pay what you want. I've only had one paid sale, so I don't really care. If you just want to download it, is perfectly fine. And yeah, I'm also gearing up to start streaming cosplay making because I'm obviously a cosplayer. So I'm sorting that out, and once I get back to Germany next week, I'll start doing that. So yeah, that's me.
And last but not least, Inez.
It's me. Hi, everyone. It's me, your friend Inez. Let's see. Well, first of all, I had such a blast today. This was so fun, and I never have played Good Society, and this was just so fun. So much drama. I love murder mysteries. I always watch them with my mom, murder mysteries, and so this was actually like kind of like a full circle moment. Let's say it's really cute. Let's see. You can find me everywhere on @Inez666 or with an underscore behind it. They really left that username open for me. It's very kind and very nice. So just look up Inez666 and you'll find me. Twitter and TikTok are the most active. I also do streaming on my Twitch channel @Inez666. However, I'm on a big hiatus because of mental health issues, let's say that. Yeah, I plan on getting back to streaming really soon though, so please keep your eyes peeled there. Let's see. On Monday next week, I am doing the final episode of a Pathfinder campaign that I'm in over on Mana Pot Studios, which that channel that's a shout out in and of itself. Manapod Studios, you should check them out if you want like EU streams,
Wait
all
a
that kind
minute,
of stuff.
that's where I'd seen your face before.
That's where you've
didn't
seen my
click
face
in
before.
my brain. I was like, how the heck did I not know this?
Yeah, so
I'm
I've
sorry. I
It's
watched too many
okay.
Twitch streams, but I'm like, huh? 'Cause
Huh.
I've even last week at session 0, I was like, why do I feel like I've known your face?
Yeah, so I've been on there for like a couple weeks now. Yeah, we've been doing a cool Pathfinder campaign, which is coming to a close on Monday. However, there might be a second season in the works, so please keep your eyes peeled. Yeah, Monday, that's where I'll be. I play a gunslinger, what's it called? A fetchling gunslinger who is very sexy and very evil. So please, please come check that out. It's very fun. What else do I have to plug? I play Vampire the Masquerade on Lightfoot Rogue Twitch channel every 2 weeks, which will also come to a close really soon. God, but will continue in September. So check that out. Other than that, just keep your eyes peeled on my spaces. It's gonna be a really fun time. You won't regret it.
Oh, I forgot something. Next week on the 30th at 2 p.m., I will be moderating the LGBTQIA plus
Yes.
TTRPG panel. So come on back for that.
Yes, stick around.
Oh my gosh, you are also awesome, doing awesome things out in the world. I love that for y'all. My name is Anne. You can find me on Twitter at XO_girlwonder. On Mondays, I'm a Power Ranger at twitch.tv/fell_strike. Um, yeah. Next Tuesday is the final episode of season 1 of Regency Remixed over at Girls Run These Worlds. I don't know when we're doing a season 2, but there are big things in the works for that. We might be expanding the family. So that is a future thing. Yeah, I hate finales. They always make me so sad.
Yeah, honestly.
And on Wednesdays, also over at Girls Run These Worlds, I play Lancer. I play a hacker with guns. And you guys can just fill in the blanks from there. For more information, I've put my website address in chat, anramos.ca. I've redirected my personal domain to my beacons page, and it has all of my current streams and some VODs from YouTube of like the archives that I could find of stuff that I've done in the past. There's a lot of good society in that one. Clearly. Yeah, so that's it for us. I don't know if there's going to be a raid, but if there's going to be a raid, please stick around for that. Uh, you know, thank you so much for Hoard of Tales for allowing me to do this thing and to introduce more people to good society. Thank you to Marcus, the producer for this stream.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you,
Being
thank you,
really awesome for us.
Mm-hmm.
Again, thank you so much to the audience. You are all super wonderful.
Yep.
Very
And
cool.
Yes.
yeah, support women in gaming and
Yes.
make sure you stay tuned to Hoard of Tales for the rest of the month's events.
Yes.
Yes. Love you guys. Have a good day. Take care of yourself. Bye 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 bye.